Hey, good evening, everybody. So we just want to quickly touch what we're doing yesterday, and we just want to run through them briefly again and just refresh, kind of do like a refresher. Yesterday, we were talking about backup, and we said that we give different reasons why we should always back up our databases. So today we're going to just, go straight into explaining the basic concept again for us to understand. Remember that I said everything we do as database administrator is repetitive. So the more you keep doing it, the more you keep practicing it, the more you become better. So I would have expected everybody to have connected to their studio for now. Okay, so I just want to quickly brush up on backups. All right, so I'll bring this here. Before we go into practical, let me explain this again. So now in SQL Server, we have different types of backup. We have said that it's always important for you to back up your data, your database. This will help you to be able to recover in case of any disaster or in case of any corruption in your database, you'll be able to recover. So if you do not back up your database, you can lose data. So in itself, backup is one of the strategies you can use to keep your data safety. As a matter of fact, it's the lowest strategy. We have other strategies like the high availability solutions, which we'll go into as we continue in the class. But we just want to quickly look at it here. It says SQL Server backups in itself is a vast subject. So there are multiple books written about them. Well, in this particular one we want to look at, now we want to see the most common types of backups. We have, of course, we already know when we look at our SSMS that we have three types of backup. That's what I told us, but there's another backup called the tail log backup, which I'll also explain. So we have the full backup, differential backup, transaction log backup. Now, what is a full backup? Now, a full backup, as the name implies, backs up everything in your database. Okay, it is the foundation of any kind of backup. You cannot take a differential backup if you have not backed up your full backup. You cannot take a transaction log backup if you have not taken your full log backup. That's why they say is the foundation of every kind of backup. Now, this backs up all the objects. It backs up the tables, the store procedures, the functions, the views, the index, everything. Let me quickly show you guys all those things I'm talking about. I say it backs up all the objects. If you come to a typical database here, you can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you look at a typical database here, you open a database. Let me just say, this is a backup database. It has, let me go to AdventureWorks because AdventureWorks is more, did I restore AdventureWorks here? Oh no, I don't have AdventureWorks here. I wanted to show you guys views and all of those. But let me use, if you want to know where all the objects and everything are, for example, this backup database, you can see that this is tables. Let me see, is there anything there? This is a table in a database. There's no view here. Store procedures is here. So when you take a full backup, it backs up everything. Your tables, your objects, your views, your store procedures, everything are backed up for you when you take your full backup. Now, because of that, it will always be bigger than every other type of backup. It's so explanatory. So now, a full backup creates that complete database, and of course, as well as the transaction log. If you want to take your transaction log backup, if you do not take a full backup, it's going to throw an error because all of those other backup build up on your full database backup.
Okay.
So if they ask you now in an interview, hey, how many types of backup do we have? Oh, you can quickly tell them, yes, we have three types of backup, but we also have the fourth one, which is a tail log backup. The full backup, a full backup gives you a backup of your entire database. You can talk about the backing up the views, store procedure, the table objects, every element that is contained in that database, it backs it up for you. All right. So, I mean, of course, how do we create a database? How do we create a backup? It's very simple. Now, if you have a full backup, it allows you to be able to restore the contents of everything that has been stored in that database. I mean, if you want to back up a database, you can use the GUI, which is this or TSQL. So now I'm just going to quickly, again, for the purpose of this video, do a simple quick backup. I already have this backup database. Let's create a new database. Let's call it, so let me drop it. Let me drop this database. Let me delete it. Close the existing connection. So that database is gone. So now I want to create a new database. You can, the syntax to create a database is go. You must always create a database against the master database. So you can either right click your database, you go to new database, you call it database backup, you give it a name. You can either go this way, just call it, give it any name that you want to call it, say test DB. Then this is the location where the backup will be stored, and then you hit OK. That is one way, but I want to do it using the TSQL because of time. So this TSQL query will do the same thing. You say use master. It's already in master here, the connection. Go backup data, create a database, give it that name. So if you execute it, it has created that database. If you refresh here, you will see your database is here, backup database. A database in itself is empty. You need to put in some values in it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at that database. There's no table. So there's really nothing in here. So now we're going to create a table inside that database. And using TSQL, you can create a table. The name of that table is products. And you can give it these data types, the product ID, call it integer. And of course, it's the primary key. You can then give it some column names, product name, and brand name. So now we're creating a table with just 2 columns. You can also right click here, go into new, call it table. Okay, you can create table this way. You put, what are those things? I'm sorry, one more time. So I need a product name, brand name. This one is VACA, this one is VACA. So you can call it product name, product name. You can create a table this way. The data type, you can call it VACA, variable character. Where is it? VACA. VACA, you can leave it at 50. You can come here. The second item is called, so we have product name and we have brand. You can call this table brand. You can call this column brand. Give it VACA also. Character 50. So if you want to do this and you call it, so if you hit yes, it's going to create that table for you. But I want to use the TSQL to create the table. So in case you want to use the GUI, that's how to do it. But you just hit this, you create your table. It will create a table for you. If you refresh this table, you will see the table here. Now, we want to put in some values into our table. To use TSQL, to use GUI to put data into your table, you can come here, right-click the table that you just created, go to Edit. When you do Edit, it's going to show you different columns. You can start putting all these values one by one. Insert into products, these values, bike genesis. Remember that we created 2 columns, product name and brand name. So if you use this insert into product, these values, it's going to come and insert it inside this table. But instead of now typing everything one by one, one by one, one by one, we can just use this query. Let me close this back. We can just copy all of this. We are saying that insert into products, insert into this table, all these values based on the specification we have given it here. So if you hit execute, you would see it here that it has created all the rows for you. For you to see everything that is in this table that has been created, again, you can use the GUI, just right click it, go to select one, top 1000 rows, your table now has value, 6 rows, but I want to cancel that. I want to use statistical. You can just use select star. It will select everything for you again. Execute. You will see that you have your a table with 6 rows, and of course with all the items that we just created here. Now, if you look at when we're creating this table, we said product ID should be what? Identity. And we say we should, when you put this constraint, you're trying to say, hey, make this column the primary ID. So as you keep inserting values, it will be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what that stands for. So now, we now have a database that has data inside, and we want to back up that database. How do we back up that database? Now, this is a good database to back up. Why? Because it has values inside. There are items in that database. If you do not back up this database now and anything happens, there can be corruption. Okay, you can lose every data that you have saved or that you have created. So that is why, as a database administrator, we always have a backup strategy. So now you can take a full backup of that database. Now you can use the GUI, which is here. You come again, you right click, you go to task, backup. What type of backup do we want to take? We want to take a full backup. Now there are 3 types of backup, like I said again: full, differential, and transaction log. But you cannot take differential or transaction without taking a full. So we start with the full backup. Now, this is the default path of where the backup will go and store. But I have already created a path where I want my backup to be stored. If you come to File Explorer, which is the yellow envelope down here, look at my mouse, follow my mouse down. You see it here. You click on your File Explorer. I want mine to be stored in C drive. I have created a folder called Full Backup. So let me delete all of this. I want to delete all of this so that you would see when the backup has been taken. Good, there's nothing in there again. So now this is the path I want. Now you can come here. How I got this is, let me just do something. Let me show you how I did that. Let me delete it. It wasn't there before. So you can just come to your C drive. You come to your File Explorer, the yellow envelope down here. You click it, you go to C drive. In this C drive, because I just want to know the location where the backup is stored, I right click. I go to new folder, call it that name you've given to it, full backups, and you leave it there. So you can click here and then you click out here. It's going to show you the path. So you can copy that path. And then you close it here. Close this again. You come here, you remove this. You can now add and say, hey, you come here, you click this 3 ellipses button here. And then you come to this part. I want to put mine in C drive. That is that C drive here. This is that drive I created. You click here. All right. And you come here, you can give it a name, any name that you want to call it. Sorry, any name that you want to call that backup. You can just give it a name of the backup. And I always like naming it after whatever I say. You can just call it, say, backup DB dot. Always make sure, well, the standard is backup a database according to the name of that database. So you put backup database. When are you taking that backup? Today is 31st 01/31/2022 dot BAK. That is the extension of database of backup. So now anybody that comes will say, okay, you took a full backup of this database on this date. Then you hit OK. So if you hit OK again, it's going to store the backup in this location. Let me hit OK. You will see what will happen. Backup successfully taken. Hit OK. Come back to that part that you created, C drive, full backups. You will see it here. Do you see the backup here?
Yes.
So the backup is here. It took it for you. Now, let that one be there. That's how to take the full backup using GUI. Now, if anything happens to this backup, to this database, you can always go to that full backup and restore it. So remember, we're still talking about full backup. Now, if you come right here, I want to back up to this part. This is the part that I created, C drive full backup. So I want to use T-SQL, and the name that I'm giving it this time is backup database.bak. Let me just use this to take my full backup. Don't worry about that. It's still going to take a full backup. Good. So if you go to that file again, you see that another backup has been taken. This is it here. Can you guys see that? You see how fast T-SQL is. So let me delete this one. Oh, sorry, no. I want to delete this one. That's what I want to do. Good. So now I've taken full database backup of that database. So now if anything happens, we can always restore that database. For you to know that if your database that you've taken, for you to verify that, hey, this backup is a good backup, can it be restored? There's a generic script that we have. This is a script here. I did not write this. You can Google it, you can copy it, or you can save it as in your notepad. You can just say, hey, anytime I want to verify my backup, this is the script to use. So now let me explain this script. So it's saying that you should go and verify from your MSDB. That is one of the system database where the backup sets are always stored. Go and verify where the database name is this name. So in your own case, if you want to verify any database in your office, you can clean this and put your own database name. Because I'm verifying for this guy, so I had to use that name here. Now it says from where? From MSDB. All of this is just code. You can see here that the name is here again. So you just edit, put the name of your own database. Then it now says raise an error if that database is not found. If it's not a good database, raise an error. If not, just verify it for us. That's what this query is saying. And this is the location of the backup.
Okay.
You see this? Full backup. Now, if I run this, you see that this one was the one I did earlier on. This is the date of the backup that I created when I was practicing. But now I'm not, if I use this one like this, it's going to throw an error because the backup I'm using doesn't have that name. So I just deleted it. So this is the name of the backup that I'm using now that I want to verify. It's saying backup database. So let me rename and copy that short one. I've copied it. I'm going to come to that script and edit it. So you can just do the same and paste it there. Good. So with this now, it's going to verify that backup for me. Execute. So it says the backup file, the backup set on file 1 is valid. Now that means your backup is valid and it's calling it file 1. It has taken your full backup. That is why it's saying 1. Now, all right, okay, all of this, we don't really need this. This is just to verify the logical name, the path of where that file is. I mean, if you want me to run it, I can run it, but it's not really necessary. So what all of this is saying is it's just giving us that, hey, I've taken a backup of this database. How many times have I done it? Of course, we just did 2 backups. That's why you're seeing it like this. That's why it's showing us so you can use the script for that, but I don't want to dwell on that. I was just talking about full backup. So now we have taken full backup. Okay, and let me see. Good. I don't want to, we've taken full backup. So all of this is still explaining backup. Let me jump that straight here and go straight to, okay, good. I mean, everything I just explained to you, this is another one. This is just like 2 examples. So now that is how to take a full backup and how to verify the full backup. Again, let me verify that backup using the script. So that is how to take a full backup. When you take a full backup, it backs up everything for you. Now, let's say something happened or say you lost that data, or say you want to restore that data on another server now, all you need to do is to go and restore from that location that you saved it from. So that is that about full backup. So now, the next type of backup I want to talk about would be the differential backup. Let me stop sharing a bit and pull out that note. Oh, no need. Sorry, this is covering my face here. Do you have any questions on the full backup? Guys, do you guys have any questions on full backup and how to take full backup?
No.
Oh,
It's quite clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. So now we're going to go to the next type of backup. And again, there's something, oh, good. I just saw this. Thank God I brought out the note. I just saw that there are times too that they can just ask us that, hey, can you back up? You want to back up a database and the database is so large. You can break it into chunks, okay, so that it can back up faster. Anyway, to solve all of that, we have come up with another thing that they call the differential backup and the transaction log backup. Now, talking about the differential backup backs up everything that has happened since your last full backup. Please, can you note that down? Differential backup is the difference of your, is the backup of all differences that have happened from the last time a full backup was taken. Now, let me see if I can explain that again with some notes. Okay. So now the differential backup. Just like the full backup. Remember I said that you cannot take a differential backup if you've not taken a full backup. So what is the differential backup? The differential backup, let me bring it in so that you guys can see my face straight. So now, the differential backup, all right, backup the superset, anyway, that's English, of your last full backup and contains all the changes that have been made since your last full backup. Are you guys seeing the note that I'm sharing?
No.
Oh,
No,
sorry. What about now?
this.
What about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Sorry, so I have to just bend my head somewhere. So now the differential backup, okay, backs up all the changes that have been made since the last backup. Can you guys see it there? So now, let's say we have taken our full backup. If you now go again and insert another row, don't forget that when your database is just there, transaction is happening from the application side. So that means there's constant insert updates, a lot of transaction is happening. So now the differential backup, anytime you take your differential backup, it will back up everything that has happened since your last full backup has happened. Okay, and the differential backup is not accumulative. Now, let me say, if you back up your full database, say today, this morning, follow my thought, then say tomorrow morning, you take a differential backup. It's not going to take the whole full backup. That is why it is beautiful. That will help you save space. It's going to back up every changes that have happened since the last time you took a backup. Let me ask you guys this question. Let me see who can get it. If I take a full backup of my database today, full backup, then say tomorrow morning around 10 a.m., I take a differential backup. That's one. Then I take another differential backup around, say, 12 p.m. Now, if anything happens to your database, follow my line of thought. Full backup was when? Because I need you guys to talk to me. When did I take the full backup?
In the night.
Okay, people are not getting it. Let me write it down. Okay, let's just say scenario 1. Sorry, guys. Let me see. This is small.
What? Yeah.
Scenario 1. Okay, I took a full backup on Monday, say 12 a.m. Now, when I take a full backup, it's going to back up everything, right, in the database as at that time I took it, right?
Yes.
Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
See you, brother. Yes.
Okay. So now, if I take a differential backup, say 10 a.m. on Tuesday, then I take another differential backup, say 12 a.m. So 12 p.m. on Tuesday. If a disaster now occurs, say at 12, let me say 12:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Now look at this scenario, guys. What did I say differential backup is from this explanation? A differential backup contains all the changes that have been made since what? Please, can you guys say?
This is the last
time a full backup was
full
taken.
backup.
Last
Now-
full backup. Yep.
Okay, so our last full backup was when? On Monday,
Yes.
right? At
Yes.
this time,
12
12
a.m.
a.m. So now, since that time, we have taken how many differential backup? Two
Two.
differential backup.
That's right.
So now, if you want, say if a disaster now happened 12:15, that means we will lost how many? If we want to restore this database, we would have lost how many minutes of data?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yes.
Olu, are you following?
Yes.
Now, if you want to restore this database, which one among all of these 3 backups will you restore?
The full backup.
Yes, you restore the full backup first, because that full
First.
backup contains everything that
Everything.
the database has.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I now said differential backup records all the changes that have happened since you took your last full
Full
backup.
backup.
It
The
always
changes.
references your last full backup
Last full backup. Okay.
to save space. You understand? So instead of taking full backup every day, let's say if you took your backup the first day, it was 500 megabytes or say 500 MB for a small database. You take a full backup another Tuesday. So
The
if you take a
differential.
full backup for 7 days, how much MB would have you spent? So
That'd be a lot.
that would be 3,500
Yeah.
MB. So instead of doing that, differential backup will now take all the differences.
Yeah.
Say if my first backup was 500 MB, now on Tuesday, yeah, transaction now start happening. Let's say if the whole transaction is of course, you have to be less than the full backup. Let's say 50 MB. So instead of you taking a whole full backup of everything again, this is the transaction that has happened for that day only was 50 MB. So it will just put 50 plus 500, that's 550 on your memory. That's what it's going to consume.
Oh.
So now, if you do that continually, you'll see that at the end of 7 days, you would have used less. 50 times 6, that's 300. 300 plus 5, that's 800. As against 3,500. So as a database, that's why they call you database administrator. You manage space. You have to know how to manage space by using the right backup strategy. Back to our question. So now, if that full backup was taken on Monday, okay, let me remove this, at 12 a.m. and a disaster now occurred now. So that means, hey, the last time we took a backup was 12 p.m. and disaster now occurred. Oh, you can now tell them that, sorry, I can only restore my database from 12 p.m. Now, will you also restore the one that occurred 10 a.m.? You guys answer me.
Yes.
Okay, Fred said yes. Olu, will you restore this one that occurs at 10, the differential that occurs at 10?
I didn't get the question again.
Okay, if a disaster occurred at 12:15 and you want to bring back this database online, you want to bring it back, something has happened, there's a corruption at 12:15. The last time you took differential backup was 12 and you want to restore it. How do you go about doing that? Which of the backups will you use here? You guys got down, you said you first of all restore the full backup, which is good. But that's not the whole backup. The full backup only recorded what happened on Monday. What about what happened on Tuesday?
Now we are taking the differential.
Remember that I said the differential backup always references the last full backup.
Okay, so we are taking the transaction log.
No, before transaction log, we'll get there. We only have one full backup and two differential backup, and we want to restore this backup back to where it was before. We want to restore the database to where it was before a disaster occurred. Let's say any transaction that occurred for between 12 to 12:15 has lost it, since it's like we're taking backup every 2 hours based on this on 10, 12. The next one would occur by 2 o'clock. Olu, you're right. We would have taken a transaction, but I'll take you guys to transaction log, but I want you guys to get the concept of this one before I add the transaction log. So now,
Can I add something?
Yes.
Based on this scenario, after taking that first full backup on Monday, then I will take the third differential, that's the third line, the differential for 12 p.m. because differential backup is it's referencing it's backups from the last full backup, so it's already covered the one for 10 a.m. So
exactly. Very good. She got it. So let's read the story. I will explain before. Okay, before I read the story, let's say we didn't take any backup at 12 o'clock and something happened at 12:15. It will go and restore 10 a.m. and this one, it will have at least some data. Yeah. So anytime you see, and there's a query I'm going to show you guys, anytime you take a full backup, the number will be 1. Anytime you take a differential backup, it will be 5. Anytime you take the differential backup, it will be 5. So there's a query that will help you to know that how many full backup was taken in the whole log. They call it LSN. Log sequence number. If you miss if anything happened to one of your sequence number, you will not be able to restore that database. That's why it's always good to note the numbers. So now, based on our scenario.
Question.
Okay, hold your thought. Let me finish this, please. Okay. So now you took your full backup. You have done full backup here. Good. You now take another differential backup. This one will reference this last one. The first full backup you take, it will take all the differences and add it. So the moment you take another differential backup, this one doesn't matter anymore. This differential backup will cover everything that has happened since the last full backup. So that's why you don't have to bother about this one. You just restore this one, the full backup, with no recovery, and you restore this one with recovery to bring your database back the way it was. So sorry, Fred, ask your question before I read this paragraph.
Yes, you made mention of 1 and 5. So I'm just finding out, is it fixed, something fixed, or?
Yes, there's a query that I'll give you that when you run that query against your backup file,
okay,
it will list everything out that you have backup in sequence based on the transaction that was happening. So you can now look at all the numbers and say, okay, a disaster occurred at so and so time. We are going to restore from number 1. Then all the differential backup, where are they differential? You can see like 5 number 5s. You will jump all the first one, you go to the last one Say this is the last differential backup. I'll restore this one. It has taken care of the whole differential that was taken before.
You're making
All
things
right.
easy for us, man.
Yes, Brother Joe, you have a question?
Yes, okay. Good evening or good morning, everybody. This is my first time in this class. Thank you for sending me the link. Right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to say that I've enjoyed the class so far. I've been in and out, but I have enjoyed the class so far.
Thank you.
So now, taking that differential again, that is because you don't have transactional log.
Yes.
So if you, in a case where you have T-log, would you have to take differential or you just go with the T-log?
Good question. Did you guys get his question?
Yes.
So he said, in a case where you don't have T-log, would you take differential or you just go ahead and restore? That depends on the recovery model that your database is on. If you guys remember that I talked about recovery model, that recovery model means if any disaster happened, how can you recover? If your database is in full recovery model, you can restore full transaction and full differential and transaction. If your database is in bulk log recovery model, right? Yes, you can restore all the three types. But if your backup is in simple recovery model, you cannot get differential. You only do full and transaction log. I stand to be corrected. Let us quickly go and find out.
All right.
Let us find out.
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, now this database here, this particular database, let's go and see what recovery model it is on. You come to options. This is in full recovery model. That means if this one is in full recovery model, we can take the whole three types of backup. Let's go and find out. Let's say backup database, task, backup. You can see all the three backups are there. That means you can take three. You can recover from these three. If any disaster happen, you will need these three to go back to your full database. But right now I've explained 1 and 2. So the next one I'll explain is this one. So I just want to take it in sequence. Then now let's go and do something. Let's go and let's look for another database here, recovery model. Okay, this was the one I used when I was showing you guys recovery model. Let's look at the recovery model of this database. Go to options. It's in full. Let's change it to simple. Or let's go to bulk log. If your database is set to bulk log, you hit OK here. Now this database has been set to bulk log. Refresh. Let's try to back it up and see how many types of backup will come up. We can take 3 types of backup. Now, let's go and change this database and put it in simple recovery model to answer Brother Joey's question. So let's put it to simple recovery model. Anytime a database is set in simple recovery model, you can only take 2 types of backup, full and differential. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
You cannot take the transaction log. So to answer that question, it depends on the model that your database was built with. If it is built with full database backup, yes, you can take transaction log at that point of failure. You can quickly take a backup of the transaction of a tail log backup. Then you start to recover from the full, take the differential, then restore all the transaction before that failure. But right now I've only touched full and differential. So we'll go to the next one we'll go and look at is T-log. So let me take this back to full recovery model, properties, options. I want to take it back to full here and you hit OK. So that is that. So now let's go back to that, our notes. So I'll share this video first. So now, so it says here that a differential backup is a subset of the last full backup. Did you guys hear that? It's a subset of the keyword here is last full backup and contains all changes that have been made since your last full backup. Okay. It contains all the changes that have been made since your last full backup. So if there are few transactions that have happened recently, a differential backup might be small in size. But if you have made a large number of transactions, the differential backup could be very large in size. I've explained that. It now says, as a differential backup doesn't back up everything, backup usually runs quicker. Now, because it does not back up everything, it just backs the differences. So if you are taking a differential backup, it runs faster because it's a smaller size that you are taking. Now, let me jump all of that. I'll share this note with you guys. Differential backup saves storage space. Save storage space. I have explained this when I use this example to us of the megabyte. Let's say if your database is full
more than, yeah.
Yes. So a differential backup will just take the difference, so it will save space. All right. A large differential backup loses the advantages of faster and smaller. All right. This is just telling you, you know. Okay, look at this last one. Typically, if any disaster or anything happens, look at what this one says. It says that we would restore to the most recent full backup, this one, followed by the most recent. Did you guys see what I just explained? Did you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So if anything happens right now, we will restore the full backup and the most recent differential backup to go back to our distance. Anyway, let's not talk too much. Let's practicalize it. Good. So we have taken full backup of that, our database, backup database. Let us look at what is inside the database again. And everybody, please join me as we check what is inside, and let's note how many data we have in there. I have to change it here, if not so it will bring an error. I'm now connected to the database. Execute. Now, how many rows do we have here? 6.
Yes.
Let's say if something happens again and they insert another row. Boom. So now we have inserted 6 rows again. Let's go and check our database. Execute. So now that means a transaction has happened now. 6 more rows have been added. So now let us take a differential backup, since we have a full backup already of this database. So instead of us taking a full backup, we'll just take a differential backup. Do you guys understand it? Because you want to save space. A full backup has 6 rows. Now they've added another 6 rows. You don't just go and start backing up the whole full backup again of everything. You'll be consuming memory. So you just back up from the 6, which is the difference. So you come there, right click, task, backup. You come here, because it is the recovery model is in full, you can take differential backup, put it in that same place that I have created, just hit OK. Boom, it has backed up your database for you. Now, let me show you guys something. Let me look for that query that I told you guys. For it to even verify if that backup that we just took. Remember that when we verified before, it was only one file that was there. Let's see. Now, how many files do we see there now? Backup set on file 2 is valid. The first one was differential backup. Now I've taken a second backup, but let me look for that query quickly that I said we can use to check what is going on. Now we have taken one full backup and one differential backup, right? Okay. Just keep the line of thought quickly. Let me look for that query.
DBCC check DB.
No, it's not that one. Yes.
Is that Toby? I hate.
I agree with you.
Guys, look at this query here. Look at this query I want to drop here. Please look at the screen. I have dropped this query. Now, if you want to look inside your .bak file to see how many backups you have taken, this is the query you use. Restore header only from disk to that location. Let us run this query now. Let's say if your own backup was taken, and always note the location. You can change your own and put the location where your backup was. But this is the location for my own. Let me run this query. Look at this. Remember that I said, what did I say when I was explaining to you guys?
Yeah, full backup is number
backup is number one.
differential is number 5.
Differential backup is number 5.
Yeah.
Now, that means we have done 2 transactions, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's go again and insert another record into that table. Let's still insert the same record into that table. Transaction is happening. Good. Now, a transaction has happened. Let us look now. We'll have how many rows? We have put another 6. How many rows should we see now? This is the third one, 18. Can you guys see that? We have inserted record 3 times to this database, to this table. The same value. We enter it 3 times. So that's why you have 18 records. Now, we cannot take a full backup again. There's a difference that have occurred from number 12 to 18. So let us take that difference. Don't forget that when we take on a differential backup now from this 12 to 18, it will reference what? The last full backup. I'll prove it to you guys. So now let's take another differential backup. You right-click the database. You want to capture that difference that just happened. You go there, you go differential backup. You hit OK. It has taken differential backup. For you to be sure if it has taken differential backup, go and check what is inside the backup file. You can verify, first of all, with this your query here. Verify it. It will show you that file 3 is safe. Sorry, what did I do? Okay, I didn't copy the whole query. Good. Look at it. The backup set on file 3 is valid. So let us look inside to be sure that we took our differential backup. Use this query here and you look inside. Now, how many differential backup have we taken from this thing? Number 1, number 5, number 5, but we have done, now this is their position. That means inside our backup file, we have this. Now, guys, something now happened. Well, now let's say, now in our database, we have 18 records, right?
Right.
We have 18 records.
Yes.
Let's say that one DBA now go there. And now,
Delete.
hey, okay, you want to delete the whole table. Should we delete the whole table or should we just delete some records?
Just
Delete
So, some records will help. Oh, okay, let's delete the whole table.
Anyone? Okay.
the whole one. Delete the whole table.
Well, now we can do. So now, hey, DBA, something has happened though. Our whole table has been deleted. Hey, what do we do? Hey, the office will start panicking. So instead of you to go and restore 1, 5, and 5, who can tell me what and what to restore based on our explanation? What number are we restoring? Number 1 and
Number 1 and
5.
3.
And 3.
exactly. Because this last full backup will reference that first one. We will jump if we had 10 differential backup, we would jump all of them and go to the last differential backup.
Okay.
Right.
So based on this now, the last differential backup was taken at this time. So now let us go and restore our database because we want to make sure that it goes back to how it was before. You will come to task restore database. Good. Now, when you want to restore that database, you go to, let me go to the location and pick it. Device, ellipsis button, add. Where did I store it? I stored it here.
Go back on.
Backup. Backup. Backup.
Good. Look at what it did. What did it pull for me?
The first full backup.
23.
and differential backup.
Full
Position what and what? Did you guys see that?
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
1 and 3. And so that means it refers the last. So it did not pull out everything. He only pulled back 1 and 3. Have you guys seen it now?
Yes.
So if you hit OK, boom.
I think it happens like that because the number 2 has already been taken, you know.
Yeah, that number 3 has taken account into that.
Right.
The number 2 does not matter anymore. The
Yeah.
most recent differential is what is
Is
more
what is
important.
matter. Okay, it didn't go. Okay, I know why. Let me do it again. Now, guys, watch. This is going to take us to the third thing that I want to talk about. Now, we want to restore. Did I do restore or backup? What did I do? Did I click restore?
You did restore the last time.
Okay, thank you. Let me do it again. Thank you. Restore. Thank you. Database. Now, this is the, okay, that's picked this one up, okay? All right, so now you come here, files, sorry, options, let me see something. Okay, I can relocate this folder. Did you guys see this?
Take
Did you
your
guys see
log.
this thing that is saying take a
Tail
tail
log.
log? So now the reason why I did not restore, the habit is that if a disaster occurs,
Yes.
Mm.
now the disaster will want you to take into consideration what just happened. So now a database has been deleted. Please follow this line of thought. That was a question Brother Joey asked. So now you come, you right click, you go, immediately disaster happened, you now go and say, hey, I don't want to lose any data. Let me take what they call a tail log backup. Not just that, I want to go to the media, all right? I want to say, back up the tail log of the data and leave the database in a restoring state. Follow down my line of thought. What you're telling me is that, hey, a disaster just occurred. A table has been deleted. So let's say transaction is going on. You want to say, hey, let me first of all take care of that transaction. So you back up using the tail log backup, and you now come to the backup options. Where is that thing I'm looking for here? And let me go to the media options again, append, verify, no, back up the tail log, good. I want to be sure that everything, yes, then you take a copy only. If you do not use a copy only, it will break the log, the last sequence number. Look at this number, last LSN. All of this number is important to restore your databases. So if you do not use your copy only, it's going to break that chain. Let me do it again.
Yes, come again.
You right click, you go to task. Now a disaster has occurred. They have deleted a table. Before you restore the database back to where it was, you have to go and take the tail log backup and make it a copy only, so that it will not break this sequence. If you do not put it copy only, it will break this sequence and you'll not be able to restore the database. So you come, you do backup, you go to copy only first, you want to take a transaction log, then you go to media options, you say back up the tail log and leave the database in a restoring state. You hit OK. This may not work because we didn't take the transaction log backup, but let's see how it goes. It's taking too long to restore. Good. Oh, okay, now it says, look at this error. Exclusive, okay, the database is in use. Let us find out. If you want to find out if a database is in use, let me put this query. What query do we use? If you want to find out what
SP underscore who
is exactly.
Who to.
So you put it the SP underscore
Who to.
who. Let's just use SP underscore who.
Can we also use SP underscore who is active?
Yes, you can use that one.
Okay.
So now let's go and look at our database to see why they said that database is in use. Okay, you scroll down, database name. Okay, I can see it here. Backup database, there's a select statement, session 56. Okay, session 56, I'm the one that is there. Okay, so let me change it back. This is the reason, guys, look at it up here. If this thing is here, it's showing that you want to run a query against this database. So let's change it to master. All right, so now let's go back and do our backup now.
The brain box.
Backup, you do copy only, you go to tail log backup, you come to media options, you say, hey, back up the tail log of the backup and leave the database in a restoring mode. You hit enter, boom, it has gone. So now look at your database, it's in a restoring state. Now it's in a restoring state, expecting you to go and return back the file following the sequence that we just explained. So you come back now and restore the database. Look at what it did. It brought back, it will show you the 3. 1, 2, now. So it brought back this. You saw that we just took a tail log backup. Before we go there, let me go and show you what is inside the file.
Okay.
Where is that our query to see what is inside the file? Backup header. Please don't lose your thoughts. Still keep your thoughts with me. Yeah, this is it. So let us use this query to see. Boom. So now look at this. So we have anytime you take a transaction log backup, it will always give it number 2. That's the name.
Okay.
Okay.
So
nice.
now to restore this database, we have left it in a. We can restore the full backup first. Now, with no recovery, 1. Then we pick this last one. We do it in no recovery. Then we restore this one in full recovery. It will bring back the whole database. Don't lose your thought. I'll get there. So now we have seen the number. It has numbered everything now. So let's go and restore our database. So you can now right-click here. Task.
Restore
database. It has brought it here for me already.
Okay. Okay.
So if I just hit OK, boom, it has restored everything. So let us confirm if our table has been returned. I don't lost table. Oh God. Guys, did you see this?
Yeah.
Why did it not return that table? Who can tell me?
You are restoring on master.
No, not really. It will restore it to a point. It will recover to a point in time.
Yeah. Okay.
As when I took the tail log backup, all right, it has not. That disaster has happened. So let me try something. Let me restore the disaster. If you guys remember, before we took the tail log backup, that last one we took, table was deleted here.
Yes.
Then we now took this one first. So now let me go and restore. You see how restoring your database is very, very important for you to recover it. So now I'm going to uncheck this one. I don't need that one because that's a tail log backup that left it in recovering mode. Let me hit this. Oh.
Okay, so anytime you do a tail log backup, it just leaves it in recovery mode.
Yes, you have to put it there. Look at this. Now, backup database has not been backed up. Okay. Yes, I know. So it's wanting us to do the whole process again. All right. Let me go and do it back again. So restore. I want to bring back that table. We cannot lose that table. That table is somewhere here. So it is down here like this. Okay. Let me uncheck this too. Okay. With no recovery. I want to restore the full backup first with no recovery. It wants me to take a tail log backup again. Okay. Let me take the tail log backup again, guys. Backup, tail log. I'll do copy only. Yes. Then backup options. Sorry, backup media. Yeah, leave it in restoring state. Good. Good. So now it has left it in restoring state. If we check what is inside there again, another one has come. Boom. So now, in the case of In the case of transaction log, now that transaction log has entered, even though I've not explained it, in case you're watching this video, what we're trying to do is to recover the table that was deleted in this database. So now that this database is in this restoring state, let's go and start recovering it. For me to recover it, these two backup we took was after the disaster occurred. So this is the one that will give us the most recent data. Restoring this one and restoring this one would give us the full data. So let me try that. So I want to restore the database, the full, with no recovery. Good. Can you guys see that? I've restored number 1. Will I restore this? Will I restore this one?
No, the third one.
Oh.
Good. Because it's the
That's the
last
last.
differential backup. So I'll go. Okay. You see that the last differential would always reference the first backup. Can you guys see what's happening? When I took only the full backup, I could do it. But when I wanted to check only the differential, it will not work. You must reference that one. You must reference the full
because you have to do a full backup before you do differential.
Differential.
So in this case now, I would leave it in recovery.
In recovery mode, yeah.
Boom. Bam. Time to test it. So I don't need these two because they were just transaction tail log. They will not give me back my table because disaster have occurred before it happened. So now let me refresh this table. Refresh. Can you guys see that I brought back the table?
It's there, live.
Let us confirm how many records is in that table. What's the query that we can use to check all the records in the table? Select star from that table. So how many records are we going to see?
18.
18.
I want now 6. So this table is vexed. So DBA don't lose data. Refresh.
Oh gosh.
So I was running it against master. Let me go and run it against the database. Boom. Is it clear? Good. So that is that about differential backup.
So
now, okay, question.
yeah, my question is there.
Mhm.
Let me know if I'm wrong. So
Yeah.
the T-log backup, if we use it, if we use the T-log restore, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's going to capture whatever happened after the data was deleted, any activity that occurred. Maybe someone else is using it, transaction is going on.
Yes.
So within that short space from when the accident happened and
Good.
when you try to restore is what you are trying to back up first.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So you must do that tail log backup. But now, since we did not do any other inserts
Yes, there's
after that disaster
nothing
occurred, so that's why we did not need to. But if there was anything that happened, you will restore all those 2 other ones
okay
to get back to your data. Don't worry, we are entering the third one now, which is the T-log backup. So we have touched full, we have touched differential. Let us go to the T-log backup. So we leave our scenario there for us to learn. So good. So transaction log backup, which is the third one. Now, transaction log backup, the log backup, just as the name implied, backs up all the transaction log. Remember that the first example that we gave, that when you go to an ATM, when you are doing transactions, say, oh, I want to go, okay, I buy powder, you buy macaroni. What again the lady buy? You buy Weavon from Amazon. As you are doing all of that, you are doing transactions. So it's recording every transaction that you are doing. The beautiful thing about this transaction log is that anytime you take a transaction log, it actually saves the space. It actually takes now it records every changes that has occurred in a transaction, you know, and it puts it in a log sequence. It gives it a sequence to say, hey, at so and so time. That's why if somebody goes to the ATM or somebody steals your card, used it to steal anything, they can go and pull up the transaction and say, hey, at so and so time, so and so person withdraw this amount, because the transaction log has captured every transaction that was going on. So it says here that this backup type is possible with only full or bulk log recovery model. We said that, right? If you guys remember, we said that and we showed you that if it is in simple recovery model, you cannot take transaction log. So now the transaction log file stores a series of log. I just explained that provide the history of every modification of the data in the database. A transaction log contains all the log records that have not been included in the last transaction log backup. All right, yes, that is true. So if you take a T-log backup now, and then you keep doing transaction, and you keep taking it, you know, you keep doing transaction and keep taking the transaction. That's why when you get to an environment, you ask them, how much data can you afford to lose? They'll say, DBA, hey, we just hired you. We're having issues. We're losing data. So you ask them, how much data can I afford to lose? That is what they call, there's what we call recovery point objective and recovery time objective, RPO and RTO. So depending on the organization, they'll tell you, hey, we cannot lose more than 15 minutes of data. So your backup strategy at that point will be, hey, okay, I can take full backup every Sunday. I'll back up your entire database. Then every day I'll be doing differential backup at the end of business day to help them manage their space. Then every 15 minutes, because they say we cannot lose more than 15 minutes of data, every 15 minutes I'll be taking my transaction log backup, so that if anything happens, I can restore back to the last 15 minutes. I will not lose more than 15 minutes of data. You understand? So if anything happens, if they give you that strategy, if anything happens, you cannot restore your full backup that has backed up everything that was in the database as at Sunday. Then you now take your last differential backup. If that disaster happened on Wednesday, don't forget that you have taken differential on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You will not restore Monday, Tuesday. You just go to the Wednesday on the last differential, restore it with no recovery too. But don't forget, like what somebody said in this class, before that happened, you would have taken the tail log backup to capture any changes after that disaster and put the database, so you take a copy only and you put the database in no recovery model, in restoring state. Then you now go to the first full backup on Sunday, restore it with no recovery, go to the last differential backup on Wednesday before disaster, record with no recovery, then the tail log backup of every transaction that has happened till the 15 minutes before the disaster. That's how you recover your database to gain to the last 15 minutes before the disaster. So now you have covered what happened on Sunday. The differential backup would add everything that have happened on Wednesday. Then every transaction that have occurred every 15 minutes on that Wednesday. You say if it happened around 3:45, so you restore all the T log on Wednesday till 3:30. It will bring back every data. So you only lost 15 minutes, the one that happened between 3:15 to 3:45. So let me go ahead and explain this. So the transaction log backup, I have said that it allows the database to be recovered to a specific point in time. I just explained that now. This means that the transaction log backup are incremental. Now, unlike the other one, this one is incremental. That means if I take 4 transaction log backup today, any disaster happen, I must restore all those transaction log that happened before that disaster on that day. So they say that it is incremental.
Unlike a differential, that is just the last one.
Yeah, differential is cumulative.
Yeah.
So transaction log is incremental. This note is coming to you guys tonight. Can you see it? This one is incremental, it keeps increasing. While this one is differential backup is what? Cumulative. That is why we only go to the last differential.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that? Transaction log backup are incremental and differential backup are cumulative in nature. If you want to restore database to a point in time, you need to restore a full, recent differential and all the corresponding. Did you guys see that? And all the corresponding transaction records, which are necessary to build up the database to that specific point that disaster occurred.
So what we're doing is, if we're doing a T-log backup, so we'll first do the full, then we'll do the recent differential, then we'll do both.
Then you now do all the transaction log backup. Let me explain. Let's say now a full backup gives you the backup of your database, everything the way it is originally. Then differential will back up any difference that have occurred since the last time you take your full backup. It's cumulative. Say when you say something is cumulative, if you took your backup on Sunday, full backup, then you now take differential backup on Monday. You take differential backup on Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday have added to become Tuesday. You take another differential on Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday have added to Wednesday. So you don't have to restore Monday, Tuesday. You just go to the last one and then pick the last full backup. That's why they say it is increment, it is cumulative. But transaction log is incremental. If you take a transaction log, say you take 5 transaction log today, it's incremental. That means you must restore 1, 2, 3, 4, up to how many, up to the point in time that disaster occurred after the last differential.
Okay.
Yes. So now this one now says there that if you want to restore the database to a specific point in time, you need to restore the full differential and all the corresponding transaction logs which are necessary to build the database up to the specific point or point very close to the desired point in time. Remember I said recovery point objective. Hey, how much data can you guys lose? That's what it's talking about there, just before the occurrence of the accident that resulted in that data loss. Now, this series of modification is contained and maintained using a log sequence number in the log chain. That is why we took a copy only of that tail log, because we did not want this sequence to break. If you lose any sequence, it will not restore your database for you. Let me show you guys what that log sequence number is. Let's look inside our data, our backup. This is the query to look inside the backup. Execute. This is what they call this is the first log sequence number and the last log sequence number. And this is the checkpoint. All of this number, LSN number, is important. If you go now and miss any of this, you have lost that data for life. So the sequence is important for you to be able to restore the database.
Okay, very much. I have a question.
All right.
Yeah. So you take a full, you have the backups already set up, full differential and T-log. And in a situation where you took the first full backup now, and say differential is like once in a day. Now, before, say 18 hours before you took your differential backup, you lost everything.
Okay.
Yeah. You have T-log in place. Yeah, with T-log, we can recover. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So in trying to recover or restore, what happens to differential in that case? How do we have a differential? Or
now, your question is that you have full differential and transaction log backup in place, right?
In place.
And then
like set up
when did the disaster happen?
Okay, let's say it happened. Now you've just taken say you just started working.
Okay.
And,
1 second. I want to write down that thing that you're saying. Sorry, guys. Okay, yeah.
So you've just taken your first backup, which is a full backup. Then you have a differential for once in a week and T-log 15 minutes. So it's assumed that the T-log is taking
Every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes. Now you have like 24 hours before you take a differential, and say like in 23 hours you lost everything before you took differential. So in this backup, we don't have differential at all. We only have full and T-log every 15 minutes. So if we're going, what's going to be the process of restoration? Is it going to be the T-log that we have for 15 minutes? Does it displace the differential?
All right.
Makes sense. I like that question.
I like that question.
I like that question. So that means if we didn't take a differential backup, and you know,
you are going to answer it. We are going to design.
We
are going to design his question and answer it by ourselves here. So, Rajo, run your scenario again.
Okay.
You have a backup strategy. You have a strategy. You have a backup strategy.
Yeah.
You have. Sorry.
You have your full differential and T-log already set.
Okay, wait, hold on. Don't forget that your full backup is taken based on
company's recommendation.
Company's recommendation. So when do you take your full backup? Give me a time.
Like say I take my full backup 12
every hour.
Monday, once every Monday.
Every Monday, because of the size, you can't take it every day. They'll tell you that you are wasting.
Okay,
so that's Monday. Why every Monday. By what time?
12 a.m.
12 a.m. So everybody's following. Good. So full backup is always number
one.
Yeah.
So, okay. Your differential backup. What's the strategy?
Differential backup will be once every day.
Once every day. By what time?
Let me say 11 a.m.
11 a.m. in the morning. Good. Yeah. Differential backup always take number 5.
5.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now, T-log.
15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Good question, what I do. Every day. Yeah. So every 15 minutes. So when did your disaster occur? Okay. So now that means, hold on. So if you take your foot, let us put our dates. Monday.
Yeah.
12 a.m.
Sorry, guys, hold on. Monday, Tuesday,
okay. Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We may not reach the end of the day, Sunday. I just want us to get a picture of what he's saying.
Yeah.
So let's just stop on that Sunday. So now, when did your disaster occur? Which day?
Okay, so on Monday, you took 12 a.m. full backup. So the disaster happened say
10,
like
10:30.
say 10:30 on Tuesday morning.
Okay, good job.
That's like 20 something hours worth of data.
Disaster occurred
10:30 Tuesday morning.
Oh, okay.
AM.
Yeah.
Oh, if by this calculation now, we've already taken one differential.
Taking one differential. It should be Monday.
Okay, you guys are ready. Let's do it one after the other.
No, so we want to get the
fire.
So now want to bring back this database now. So based on this strategy that we have, okay, who wants to go first? Who wants to talk first?
Wait, sorry. The question is meant to say the disaster happened before
Monday.
That's on Monday morning, 10:30.
What time on Monday?
10:30 a.m. where we couldn't take the differential.
Yes.
Good.
So no differential has been taken at all.
So let me explain it now. Don't forget that before you take a transaction log backup, you would have taken either a full backup, all right, or a differential backup, not and, or. So now, on Monday, by 12 a.m., you have taken full backup. So your database, full backup taken, it will issue it number 1 inside that thing. Then Tuesday, it has not gotten to the end of the day. So now between 12 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., it would have taken how many transaction log?
That's
So let's start counting.
Divided by
12 a.m. to 12:15. So 12:15, that's 1.
1.
All right. So now in your backup folder, you will see this 12:15. Don't worry, guys. Let's write 12:15
12:30
a.m. It would have written number 2. 12:30.
That's a long thing.
Yeah.
a.m.
Taking
Okay.
40, we've taken
Exactly.
42. It's
It would have written
42.
up. So you have counted is 42, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
4 per hour.
So in that case, if you want to restore your database, you will take a T-log backup as at that 10:30 and put that and take a copy only so that you don't break the log chain sequence and put the database in a recovery state.
Okay.
That is 1. Then you now go to the full database that has the original thing and restore it with no recovery. And then for the transaction log backup, you now restore 42.
Oh, Lord.
Now you restore the 42 of them with no recovery. Then the last one would be restored back with recovery. By so doing, you get your database till 10:30.
So it
Sorry.
becomes,
So you have to
Come
do it
again.
42 times.
so it becomes
Sorry.
full again, right? When it
Yes, you restore. You first of all take a T-log backup at that point when it happened to just recover anything. Say just take a T-log backup. Sorry, take a copy only of your T-log backup. Put the database in a recovering state. All right. When you put it in a recovering state, you now go and restore your full backup, the one that you took on Monday, with no recovery. Then every transaction log backup that occurred between 12 a.m. to 10:30.
So you do it 42 times.
Yeah.
No, no. So that's another question. Can it be done? Can it be done together at the same time?
Yes.
Or you have
You
to
guys are
separately?
database administrator. I love the way you're thinking. Very good question, brother Joey,
I
and
was
very good
gonna
question, sisters. Now,
We are
that is why-
databaser.
So now let me explain this one. Then I'll now answer that. Okay, let me answer that question before we forget. Now, in your studio, because they know that a human being cannot sit down and be taken backup 42 times,
42
we
times.
have what we call SQL Server agents.
Good. We send the agent a message.
You
Very
send
good.
the agent a message, and before that agent, under management, where's my management?
Right
We
there.
have what they call maintenance plan.
Good.
That maintenance plan is where you design your strategy. So I would have designed my strategy such that I will say take backup based on Brother Joe's description. I will set that strategy up and run it. So I'll just leave it. So if disaster happened at that time, it would have recovered. It would have done all those things. I'll just go to my folder where the thing has saved all the backup that it has taken for me, and then do my restore there. But do we understand transaction log backup? Or I should explain it before I show you guys the maintenance plan. Based on this example, I should just flow to the maintenance plan.
I think you should flow to the maintenance plan.
Okay, good. So now that brings me to this one now. Let me show you guys something here real quick. Open up. Good. Sorry. Let me go there. So that's it. So, okay, we've explained all of this and we've shown this example. So now we want to go to what they call maintenance plan. Now, let me open this guy. Let me open my jobs. There is no job going on here. So now, that SQL Server has taken into consideration that, hey, all this backup that we're doing, we can set up a job to do it for us instead of us doing it by ourselves. That is where we have maintenance plan. You can come under management. For you to see your maintenance plan, it's under where they call management in your studio. If you open that management, you will see maintenance plan. If you open maintenance plan, right now we do not have anyone. You can always right click. You can go to, then you go to maintenance plan wizard. It will open this wizard for you. So you hit next. So what do we give this name now? You can call it anything. And don't forget that this maintenance plan will always, I told you that it's an agent, right? That runs it. And that agent has a service account, which was that service account we created when we're installing our SSMs. So now, good. So let us call this maintenance plan, what name do we call it now? Let's just call it maintenance plan. What are we trying to back up? We're setting a maintenance plan for database. What's the name of that database? Backup database. Backup database. So now, describe. You can just put your description to remember, but maybe say backup strategy. So you can put it and say backup strategy. Oh God, sorry, let me silence my phone. I don't want to get distracted. Okay. So you can call it backup strategy. Then separate schedules for each week. Yes, we do not want to use single schedule for the entire task. Let's separate it. So you click on separate. All right, or let me say single schedule. No, I don't want to do that. Let me see. No, I don't want to use a single schedule. Separate schedule for each task. Then you go to next. So what do I want to do here? I want to take 3 types of backup. So now this is as we begin to go further into performance tuning, we'll talk about shrinking database, reorganize, rebuild. But today, we want to set up a job for backup, full database, differential, and transaction log based on our strategy and what we just discussed, right? Then you go to next. So these are the things. Then we want to start with the backup first. Let us go and schedule our, how we want it to occur. So now our full backup, what database do we want to back up? You can set, now the beautiful thing about this is you can set it up for all your database. If you set it up, it will back up all your database, which is the system database and your user databases. But we do not want it to back up everything. So let us select the one that we want. We just want to do that strategy for just one database. What's the name of the database we want to do that strategy for? Backup database, you pick it. So if a database is not online, ignore it, which is good. You check that one, you hit OK. All right. You want to back up to disk? Yes, that is correct. Then schedule. Let us pick our schedule. So now, based on our strategy, Brother Joe, your strategy said we should take our backup when? Once, right?
On Monday.
Monday. So we put it on Monday. But what's today? Is today Monday?
Yes.
No. Yes.
Today is Monday.
Yes.
Good. So what is the time here by this system is showing 3:45 a.m. So let me put it to be, let me take a time, of course, once at, let me put 3:50. Let me put 3:50 because I want us to see. Well, let me just put 4. Let me put 4 a.m. so that I just want to have enough time for it. So 4 a.m. Good. So based on my computer time.
This will not work.
It will work.
We are already in PM. So that means we want to take.
No, I'm saying here, based on my computer system.
Okay, computer time. Okay, sorry.
Based on my computer time.
Yeah.
So now I want to set it up to run every Monday by 4 a.m. All right. Start date today. Good. Do you guys see my schedule? I want to take my full backup based on the RPU. I say, hey, take my full backup weekly. When? Every Monday. Okay. I just want it once a week. by this time, 4 a.m. So you hit OK. Boom. Good. That has been set. Wait, let me see. Yes, defined it. What happened? Good, yes. Good. Good. Did I do that? Yes. Good, 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 good. 4 a.m. Boom. All right. So I go to next. Now to take me to my differential. So, Brother Joe, you said differential should occur when I want to back up just for this, not everything. So back up to this. Let me schedule differential. So I didn't touch on the destination. Let me show you guys destination, where to go and store it. Let me go back to my full. Guys, don't worry. I want to change this destination where I want it to go and back it up so that you guys will see it. I have already created it. So bring it into this space for me. Destination. That's why I went to put it here. Options. This is not necessary. This is just saying that, hey, backup should expire at this time. And all the copy only option is there, but we're not taking it. So let's go to our differential backup now. Differential. Where do I want to put that differential? I want it to be in the same location. Full backups here. Good. All right. So, Brajo, based on what you said, differential should occur daily, right?
Daily, yes.
Okay, so I can just say daily. No, I don't want to put daily. Let me just put except on the day that this one is occurring. So it will occur on Tuesday. Don't forget that full backup is occurring on Monday.
Yeah.
So that full backup will take care of everything that is happening on Monday based on that time. All right. What time do you want it to occur on Monday? Sorry, what time do you want the backup to occur? Your differential, what time every day?
What time is the full?
The full starts at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. So let's say 3 a.m. differential.
3 a.m., right? Okay, 3 a.m. has passed. So we cannot pick on Monday because that time has passed already.
Okay.
So let's put
we can make it 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Yeah.
So if we say 5 a.m., that means we can start and include Monday.
Yeah, or we can make it just few minutes after the full so that we can see it.
So, okay. So full backup occurs at 4. Okay, I wanted to design what you just said. So let's leave it at 5 a.m. so that we'll see that differential and no-go don't occur. I wanted to just do that your example. But since everybody understands the example, I wanted to model that your example now to show that, hey, it will not take differential, but to take all the transaction log.
Okay.
So now if this thing happens at 4 a.m., all right, so let's leave it that way. So let it occur like this. Yes, this one is okay like this.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have put the destination. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, good. Everything looks good here for me. So now our transaction log.
Yeah.
Look at this. Databases with simple recovery mode. Why will it be excluded?
It's a simple recovery mode.
Simple recovery mode cannot take still log.
Yeah.
No fullback.
So we pick our database, we hit OK. Destination, I wanted to take it to that same destination for clarity so we can see full backup. So full backup, you hit OK. All right, so this has been done. So we want it to occur. This is your differential. This is your
15 minutes
daily reoccurs. Sorry, let me put it in.
Occurs.
Okay, let me pick it. Let me just put daily. Occurs every.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
That 15 minutes is too long. Let us just, because of our example, so that we can, let us say every 2 minutes. Let's put it every 2 minutes so that everybody will understand. We don't want to wait for 15 minutes. The video will be too long.
Okay.
So every 2 minutes. That's when we're taking our T log for us.
The starting time.
Where is it?
12 a.m. Okay, yeah, I got it. 12 a.m. to that's 24 hours window.
Yes, it's covered. It's round the clock. So it's within the time. So
Yeah.
they say every 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes it will take, it doesn't want to waste any data. It will be taking 2 minutes of your transaction.
Okay.
So good, boom. Next. All right, so it is going to put the report there, boom. All right, so boom. We have created our maintenance plan. So instead of doing all those backups we're doing
manually every day.
Manually, so look at it here, it has created it here. This is your, so if you come now to this agent and you open it here, look at it here. This is full backup, differential. For you to be sure, right click, go to properties, go to general, sorry, let me show you steps. Sorry, general, it will show you here that it is full backup. Where is that place? Sorry, let me show you that it is full backup. Yeah, it's properties. Backup. So if you go to schedule, so this is, yeah, this is our full backup. You remember? Yeah. It says your course. Can you guys remember that it's full backup that occurs on Monday, right? So I just want to let you guys know that this one here is full backup. You can rename it if you want to. Call it full. You can rename this one to differential for you to just remember. Differential. Then you can call this one transaction log, so for you to remember. Transactional. Okay, transaction. Let's leave it that way. So now our job is running already. So that answers your question, Victoria. So instead of doing it manually, all right. So now we have put a backup strategy in place. Instead, the time is 3:53. I put 4 o'clock. That 4 o'clock is too long. Let me go and edit this one so that the transaction, because without the full backup, T-log will not happen. So, and differential will not happen. So let me edit that job. So this is a schedule. I can edit it here. Let's just change it to 3:55. 3:55. Okay. So now let me come here and show you guys. This is the location. Full backup. So what's the time now? 3:54. Look at this. Something has happened though. Did you guys see what is happening here? What's today's date? Yeah, I know I started sharing.
Today's first.
You said? So let's just keep it open and see. It was 3 that was here, B. Let us see if that job is working. So now we will just be watching and be seeing. So it's 3:55 now.
So it has taken 2 transaction log already.
No, it's supposed to have taken 1 full backup. Yes, that's taken 1 backup. Let's see how it's happening. That to 2 minutes is too long. I would have just made it 1 minute.
Wait now.
See, another one has entered. It was, can you guys see?
Scroll to the right.
Something has happened. It has taken another transaction.
Yeah.
And it's every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
3:52.
So where can we find out
the full backup?
If it is going, it takes longer. So it's going to take time.
Yes, it takes longer. So it's going to take time. So every 2 minutes now is adding by 3:58 now to add another T log. So let me edit this and just do it every 1 minute, so that it just for our class. So you can come to properties. I'm going to delete this after so that it doesn't take my memory. So schedules, edit. Let me do let me just change this and say occurs every
You know the mistake we made. Don't even bother.
What's
Our
the
full log is meant to be every Tuesday, not Monday. We are on Tuesday. We are in Tuesday, not Monday.
Oh, we're on Tuesday.
Yes, not Monday.
Sorry.
That's why.
Thank you. That's
We
why
are still Monday. Oh.
No, on the computer. We are already on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes, now computer says 2-1.
No, it's still on Monday. Let me put 2 minutes. Let me see. Let me put every 2 minutes. You'll see what will happen. I've done that one. Let me put differential every minute so that we can just see how it works. You understand? So that we can just appreciate how it works. You go to schedule, edit. You can say occurs every 1 minute. So let's open that box now and see what is happening. See, can you guys see that? It's populating now.
See what I'm telling you. If it is 2-1, 2-1 is Tuesday. So we are not supposed to put Monday for the full backup.
2-1, 1st of February. What's today's date?
Today is, on the computer is Tuesday. On our
the
side
computer
is Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That lady is a database.
Olu is good.
Olu is a DBA. Roger, do you get it?
So my question is, right now, the drive that you're using is drive C, right?
Yes, well, yours would automatically put it in the drives.
Right. Copy that.
Olu is a DBA. Roger, are you there?
Olu 120K straight.
Okay, but that differential will be working anyway since we picked Tuesday.
Yeah.
It has taken one backup. One full backup. Olu is a DBA. And see, now look at what I explained to you guys. Can you guys see the size?
Yes.
Imagine that you're taking only full backup every day. The size will be too big. I'm waiting to see the size of the differential backup so that we can compare in terms of sizes. Supposed to have taken a differential backup. Maybe I didn't say that properly.
Let's check it.
So if anything happens now, you can come here and take. So let's go and check and see let's go and see what's inside our backup file. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see that it's increasing here?
Yeah.
Can you guys see?
Yes.
So if any disaster occurs now, we will restore number 1, and we'll restore this one, number 3, this one, the last, and all of this. This is T-log.
T-log, yeah.
Remember I said full backup is number 1, differential is number 5.
Yeah.
Transaction log is number 2. Based on the sequence. Let us run this again. We had 5 now. Let's see if anything has occurred again. Okay, nothing has occurred. Let me try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something just occurred.
Transaction.
Every 2 minutes. So this one. So by the next 1 minute, that differential maybe will not set on well.
So yes, maybe. So no matter the amount of full backup it takes, it's only going to keep one. The most recent backup is only going to be the one that is there.
Yes, I'm just doing this for you to see how the agent work. Normally, I'll set up the strategy full backup once on Sunday, differential every 1 hour, then every day, then transaction log. If I say 12 a.m. for my full backup on Sunday, I can say differential backup 12 a.m. every day. Then transaction log, I will now say every 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's a better strategy. So let's see this one. Let's see our differential backup to see how we scheduled it. Why it's not taking it. We said occurs weekly, occurs daily. That's why it didn't work. So now let's go and see here. Look at. So let's use this to see what's inside our backup file. Okay, it has still not in. You see, you know why it's not, I don't know why it's not increasing though. Maybe it has not taken a differential yet, but maybe because it has not taken a differential, but it's supposed to have increased to show us everything that is inside there.
Can we check the differential time again?
Does it want you to use master?
Yeah, okay. Yes, I think so. Okay.
Still not.
It's still not putting it. Let me take it back. Okay, maybe this only works when we put article. But in any case, I'm seeing everything here. Look at. Can you guys see here?
Mm-hmm. Can we check the differential time setup again?
You know, that differential works because of the strategy that I put. It may be jumping that differential because I said full backup every 1 minute. So that strategy is not really good. So okay, let me do a proper strategy. Let me go here, schedule. Edit occurs okay, Tuesday. I said every Tuesday since it is Tuesday. So let me put this on every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, okay. Then this one, look at the schedule. Differential, this is differential. So occur every 3 minutes daily. Or starting from which day? Yeah, this would take care of that. Then this one. So this is better. Then this one can be occurring every 1 minute. But if anything happens to it's still not increasing that anyways. Wait, am I connected to it? Full backup. Yeah, that's it. Okay, you guys see that it's increasing here now. Based on what we're seeing there, it's not giving us, even when I'm checking, it's not bringing out the differential. But let me see. I only have the full backup and transaction log. Based on that strategy that Brother Joe gave us, you see that, I don't know why it's not giving us the differential. But basically, that's how the job works. See now, every 1 minute, something will drop here now. This one, full backup occurred at this one, then transaction log. So this is just waste of data. If one will occur at 4:05 and another one, that's not a good strategy. So there's no room for differential. Can you guys see that? Same time. So that's why it's always good to give a proper strategy. You spread it out. So basically, that's how that occurs. Okay, one has happened, another T log has happened. So in as much as a transaction log is occurring every 1 minute, there is no need for differential because no data is lost. It's capturing everything that is happening per minute. So differential cannot come in. So that's why that differential is not working. If you want that to work, let's move this up to we can do a better strategy for that. Let me see. The differential backup occurs daily.
Look at that time. That's the starting time at 5 a.m. And
When
we are
is
not
5
at
a.m.?
5
We are
a.m.
not yet 5 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has not gotten to that time. So let's see now.
So we're already in 4:10.
Yeah, so it will work because you know why it will work. Let us see the time that we gave it. Let's see the time every 3 minutes. So 4 a.m. every 3 minutes. So right now, this is 4:07. So 4 a.m. between 4 a.m. and 7, we have lost some data.
Okay.
So every 3 minutes will be 4:03, 4:06, 4:09. It will take another differential at 4:09. So let's wait till 4:09 and see.
Okay.
We're looking at 4:09 here. So in the next 2 minutes, the differential should drop in that box. $4:08, something has dropped. Okay, down we say everyone 1 minute. Oh, everyone 1 minute. That strategy no good though. You said?
It's not a good strategy.
Because it's not a good strategy because that 4:09 it will clash. Well, both of them would appear. Look at these two. But you guys know, of course, in a normal scenario, we will not design that kind of strategy. These two occurred at the same time. That's waste of space. You know, so you should spread them out. But we just want to see how the agent. But you can see, you can imagine that if the agent is the one doing, if it is us that is doing all this job, it will be very tedious now. So an agent, you can set up an agent in your maintenance plan to do all of this for you. So we're looking at the time now by our computer. By 4:09, 2 will drop, 2 files should drop. Okay, you guys see that? So 2 files drop. So that means it's putting that both the differential and this thing on this BAK. Yes, as BAK. So 2 files dropped at that 4:09. So the strategy is work. The maintenance plan is working. So guys, in case you're watching this video, this is how to do a simple full backup, differential and transaction log, and setting up a maintenance plan to demonstrate how you can take backup. So guys, I guess this is where we would just call it a stop for now.
Can you wait till 4:10?
You have a question?
Can you wait till 4:10 and check the
okay
backup?
Okay. 4:10, something just happened.
Is it 4:10 already?
Yeah, it's 4:10. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Something happened on 4:10. It took a full backup. You see, good. Thank you for calling us back.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the sizes?
Yeah,
Transaction,
Yes.
our full backup has a very, it backs up, based on our explanation earlier on, that it backs up the entire database, the views, the store procedures a lot. Then differential backup is now smaller than that full.
Yeah.
Then transaction log backup is the smallest. So if you want to restore, this one will restore faster because of the size, followed by this, followed by this. Imagine that you're taking this size every day. You would run out of space. That's why it's good to put that strategy on ground. Okay, for you to know that something has happened to this database, let us go and insert records again. You see that the size will change. So we come here, we want to insert another record into that database. Boom. We have inserted another record. Let us go and view inside and see what is happening. I'll run that one. And let us see if the size will change from what we had before. We have inserted 6 more records into the database. Let us see if the transaction log file would increase. Will it increase or not?
Of course, it should increase because now it's running against a lot more than.
Exactly. So remember that we also said that depending on the size of your transaction log, it will be creating what we call virtual log files.
Mhm.
And that is why it is good to precise your database to prevent auto growth. Look at the size. Has the size changed or not?
Yes.
That's changed.
Differential backup has changed in size. It's now 756. It has captured the difference
From 432.
that occurred between. So you don't have to restore this one now. Differential backup is cumulative. So it has accumulated. It was 432 before. It has added the new differential, the difference of that 6 records that we entered. That's why it's now 756. But this one is incremental. Do you see that T-log is still incremental?
Mhm.
So that's why you have to, if anything happens, you will restore the full database, the last differential, then every T-log that has occurred before that disaster happened. Because this is just incremental, while this one is accumulative. Why this one is accumulating? Look at that one.
You can just highlight.
It has added the new one.
It has added a new difference. It has added the, okay, 176 divided, 176. How did that arrive? Anyway, that one, I can't calculate how, is them that calculated how the size came about. I want to say 108 plus 108, no.
So you highlight the full differential and
Yes.
all logs.
So you guys see now that data, and as this one is happening. Now, see another thing that I told you guys. See, this space is already filling. If I do not stop that job from running, and I put it on C drive, before you know, the thing will follow.
Oh,
Yes, because everything is entering here now. It's coming into this memory.
There's one drive.
Yes. You know, everything is coming here. So that is why it is good that in a normal environment, you would have splitted your drives to different drives. One will be for backup alone.
Yeah.
Can I ask a stupid question?
No question is stupid. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm just, a lot of things going through my mind,
All right.
So so if you have your database stored in an external hard drive, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, like
if you have your files.
Your files connected, your external connected to your system, and your database is just storing on the external drive, and maybe something happened or somebody pulled the external drive out, or you don't have access to it. How can you still get that database?
Congratulations.
Because of the way database is configured.
Yeah.
Now this is your file. If anybody carries all this file, they can go and restore it.
Yeah.
That is why there's security. You must have a level of permission to even be able to install, to take your backup from your SQL Server, from the drive that you allocated to it when you were installing, to an external drive. There are different levels of permission. It will even fail, it will not go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you want to, that brings us to what we call disaster recovery. Now, in my office, we make use of a third-party tool called Rubric. You can check it out. Rubric is used for backing up. Before you set up that Rubric, you must install that device on the server. Okay, then you now register the server on the Rubric, because you have registered. The Rubric has a functional ID. I don't want to go too deep. That is secured, that you would install on your VM for it to be doing this job of taking backup. So instead of storing your backup in your local drive like it is here, it will be taking it from here straight into another place in the cloud, or depending on wherever your company has designed for it to be stored.
Okay.
So if anything happens to any of these drives, you are safe. You have another copy somewhere. You can restore from that location. So the most important query I want us to take out today is, all this query. I'm going to share this script. We already have it on the video, but I'm going to share the material for the class today and the video so that we can always watch it. If you watch this video, I tell you, you can trash any interview questions when they ask anything about backup and restore. This is it. If you can master backup and restore, anywhere you go, it is the same thing in SQL Server. So any other question? Any question again? All right, let me stop sharing. Let me stop recording.